As a working mother of 3 kids under 7 years old, there is simply no better boss to have. The women who write books and articles about not being able to have it all in terms of juggling work and family life, well, they never worked for Chris Christie. To quickly illustrate this point, just a really quick story. I ended up going into premature labor back in 2011, and premature labor with my 3rd child, on a day that I was supposed to be briefing the governor on an issue. So I texted the Chief Counsel Jeff Chiesa, and I texted Jeff to tell the governor that I was heading to the hospital and not to the Statehouse. Well, the governor heard what happened and dropped everything and met me at the hospital not an hour after I sent that text. Now, you think it might be stressful giving this speech, but think of what it's like to be with your boss while you're in labor. But, and you know this, guys, it was worth it for the advice he gave me that day. He told me to put the Blackberry down so I wouldn't miss the miracle of giving birth to my child. Now, how is that for good advice? I don't know many people, let alone bosses, who would be there like that for their staff. But he's a family man himself, and that, my friends, is classic Chris Christie. It is an honor to be here tonight to recognize and celebrate my boss and wonderful friend, the Honorable Chris Christie, our governor.
When I was running for governor 4 years ago, the last event that we had on the night before the election was at the Crystal Plaza in Livingston. It's 4 houses away from where I grew up, on Northfield Road. And my staff decided to have the last event of the campaign there. And as some of you may recall, it was a really close election, and that night when we got together, none of us really knew which way it was going to go. And I was at the end of a 5-day bus tour, and basically, they can pull you up to the back of every place. You never see the front of any place. You're getting brought in by troopers, and so you could have told me that I was in Salem County, and I would have believed it at that point because I was so tired. They took me to the back of the place, and I got introduced onto the stage. And what did I see? The most emotional part of the whole campaign for me. There were literally dozens of my high school classmates who had flown from all over the country to come and be there with me that night and to work for me the next day to help to get out and vote. I hadn't called them to ask them to do it. No one had. When they heard, and they all were talking to each other on Facebook, they said, let's all go. Let's all go. We want to be there and see it. To remind you, that was 29 years after we had left high school together. Those are the kind of relationships that all of you have helped to build.